Hey, what is up, guys? We are live. I am just starting up a couple other cameras here. Bear with me for 1 second. I wish there was one start button for everything. Oh well, so be it. My name is Klassen. You may or may not know I started Klassen exercise out of a passion from when I left high school, not really knowing what I was doing. Really struggled to lose weight. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to work out. I didn't know how to exercise. I didn't know how to make a routine. I didn't know how to do anything. So I lost about 60 pounds after high school because I had this passion for change. And this book that I'm talking about today, The Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness, is a book that was inspired by my passion for change. And for people like you, or potentially you, who want to change but are not exactly sure how to do it, because there's 1,000 resources out there. Everyone out there claims that they have the best answer, and it's hard to find a reliable piece of information that's just honest and true. So we're going to start off just a bit of backstory. I wrote this book probably it's been in the making for the past few months, and I'm really excited about it. So within this book there is a theory section, an implementing strategy section, and a workout and system section. If you're in my live stream anywhere, feel free to say hi. I'd love to see you guys engaged in what I'm saying, and feel free to just leave a question. I'll get to it at some point. So we'll start off with the theory. So a big part of health and fitness, health and exercise, is that it's so vast. Like, what we know now could change, and everything that I'm saying now could be like half true in a few years. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff is theory. There's a lot of fact, but there's also a lot of theory. So in this book, the first section is going to be theory. So it's going to be covering things like mindset, nutrition, and exercise. So the mindset section, it's the first step to getting into health and fitness, and exercise is that first step. The first question is why. Why do you want to change? So that is the first thing I tackle in this, because if you don't know why you want to change, it's going to make it very hard for you to change. So the first section is on why. So that is like, why do you want to change? And not just so that you look good, right? You want to challenge yourself to think a little deeper. Why do I want to go to the gym? Why do I do it? Like, do I want to commit to this? What changes do I want to see in my life, not just on my body, right? So that why question is the first thing we talk about. Then we go into the next big thing, which is motivation, because I'm sure all of us have had that feeling where we have felt, super inspired and motivated and energized to go to the gym, New Year's Eve, that rush that you get when you're like, yeah, I'm going to make a change, I'm going to do this. And then you get into the gym, and then you realize the next day you're sore, and you're like, wow, this sucks. How do you stay motivated past that point? Because that's the hard part. Going to the gym that first time is easy, but staying there and going the next day is the hard part. So that being said, I also talk about your first day in the gym, because a lot of people, even getting in the gym that first time, is hard, because you don't know what to wear, you don't know what to bring. Do I need to bring a water bottle? How do I dress in the gym? There's a lot of stuff that maybe for an experienced gym goer sounds like yeah, duh. But I mean, if you're a beginner and you're watching this, you might be a beginner. This is the kind of thing that you might want to know, and that you're the kind of person that I'm targeting. So there's no shame, there's no judgment. This is just an honest, truthful book based on my experiences. So if you're just tuning in now, this is The Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness. You can download this. I haven't mentioned this yet. It's in the description, klassnext.com. It's in the store. You just go through the download or the purchase process, but it's $0. So you essentially just go download it, and it'll show up as a PDF. So we tackle the why, we tackle the motivation, we talk about staying motivated, we talk about how you can stay motivated without having it to be a battle every single day. And then after mindset, the next section we go into is nutrition. So nutrition is, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. If you think it's easy, for some people, it's not. Everybody tries, everybody works at it. Anybody who looks good or has a body that they're proud of, they're working on it. And if they're not, genetics will get them at some point, and they will have to. So the first section in the nutrition section is going to be the digestive system. So within the digestive system, everybody learned it at some point, and elementary school or junior high, and no one really, like, we kind of know where everything is, but we don't really know how it works, and it works very simply, right? So the very basics we struggle to understand and we struggle to hold on to, like what are macronutrients, micronutrients, calories, stuff like that. Like, how does the things that we eat affect our energy throughout the day, right? So everyone knows, like, if you go to McDonald's and you get a bunch of bad food and you start eating it, you're gonna feel like crap, right? But that's about all we know. We don't know how it's affecting our digestive system for today, and not just today, like tomorrow, because everything you eat has a ripple effect that builds on itself. So I talk about the digestive system and how you can understand yours, and like what food works for you and how to work around the foods that you struggle with. So it's just it's just the basics. It's not I'm not running you guys through a nutrition course here. It's just like how to implement it into your lifestyle in a way that sticks, right? In a way that, like, you can learn, absorb the information, and apply it to your life every single day, right? It's not super complicated, and that's what most people need, right? They don't need to spend $1,000 to learn about this or to take a course. There's a lot of basics that we should all have an understanding on, which I kind of think the phys ed system has failed us in a sense, because a lot of people rely on their godlike genetics in high school. Then they graduate and they realize that, like, wow, this, reality sets in, and you start putting on weight, and you're like, well, I learned nothing about nutrition in high school, and I have no idea how to tackle this, and now I don't have teachers around. I have nobody to ask. And a lot of people just accept their body for what it is, and then they just continue on in this cycle, right? So we talk about macronutrients, we talk about micronutrients, water, right? Water. We all know water is good. Why is water good, right? All of the important reasons why you should drink water, and how much it actually helps your body, not just in the sense of hydration, but the amount of roles that water plays in your body. And if you drink a lot of water, how it can boost your metabolism. Like, you're trying to lose weight, then just drink water. It'll boost your metabolism up to 30%, right? It'll help your digestive system. It'll help everything run smoothly. You need water. It's not like the gasoline to your body, but it's like the oil to the machine of your body. You need that. Calories. Everybody wants to know calories. Are they the enemy? Are they my friend? Nobody really knows. Everyone kind of has an understanding of calories. I talked about calories in here for a while, and because when people are starting off in an attempt to lose weight, they're trying to get into the health and fitness lifestyle, the first thing they do is think, you know what, I should cut back on my calories. Oh, I should watch my calories. That's the first thing people go to. So naturally, I do talk about that in this book, and how to work with calories, and that losing weight and being healthy and fit doesn't necessarily have to be so hard. If you have a basic understanding on calories, it makes everything a lot easier. Again, another thing I think the phys ed system should have introduced, but it didn't. So I talk about that a lot in this book because I believe it's essential. After nutrition, just the basics, right? We go into exercise. So I start off talking about the different types of exercise, because a lot of people hate exercise, right? Or they associate exercise with going to the gym and going on a treadmill for like half an hour and just having a miserable time. And that's not exactly how it is. And there's a lot of different types of exercise. So you might not hate exercise, you just might hate the types of exercise you've tried and didn't like. So the best way to figure that out is to learn about all the different types, try different types, right? How are you going to enjoy yourself if you don't even know the options that are available to you? So I talk about the different types of exercise, and I talk about how to exercise, and the biggest thing that people forget about is the rest periods, right? So the rest periods are between your sets. They're between your sets after you've done your reps, right? That's the rest period, and that plays almost as big of a role as the actual exercising does, because how much you rest between your sets can either kill your progress or hinder it or really improve your progress. And your rest period is also outside of the gym, right? So it's during your session, in between your sets, but it also continues after your workout, right? The other 23 hours of the day, that are just as important, right? So that's also rest period. So that's another thing that is crucial to exercise, right? It's the part of exercising is important, but the not exercising is equally as important. Been talking for 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Holy cow, I don't know how people live stream for like an hour. All right, so that's the first section of the book. The second section of the book is implementation strategies. So it's taking all of these things that I've been talking about and working them into your lifestyle and getting them to stick. So I give you strategies on how to, you're absorbing this information and how you're going to take that information, put it in your life. Because we've all read articles, BuzzFeed, Facebook, we've talked to a friend that we really trust. We've got all this information and it's just kind of all up there in your brain and you don't know what to do with it. So it's strategies on how to take all this information that you're getting from the world and implementing it into your life. So when you take like nutrition or exercise or anything like that and doing it for more than a day takes strategy, it takes habit, and it takes routine. So I talk about all kinds of different strategies on how to work it into your life in a way that sticks so that you can build a habit out of it, because you're only going to be successful if you do build a habit out of it and it becomes routine. You will be successful, trust me. So one of the biggest barriers that people have to health and fitness is finances, right? Money. A lot of people, the first barrier right away, oh, I can't afford a gym membership. Oh, I can't afford gym equipment. I can't afford gym clothes. And they think that this transition into a health and fitness lifestyle is expensive when it really is not. So I do talk about these finances. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness. You can download this at klassen.com. Follow along with me. We were just talking about finances. So with finances, it's you don't have to take that first step into the gym. That doesn't even have to be your first step, your first day in the gym. That doesn't have to be your reality. You can take your money and save it. You can do lots of things for free. Take your first steps at home for free. And I do talk about strategies on how to do everything for free before you have to start spending money. And you don't even ever have to start spending money. Fitness is free, because fitness is just your body and how you're using it. And I don't have to spend money to move my arms like this. Everything you do is free. You just have to learn how to use it. So you don't need a gym membership. But if you are going to use a gym membership, these are all kinds of lifestyle strategies that I have in here. So finances, obviously, it's a big barrier. I talk about other barriers that prevent people. We already talked about motivation, then money, lots of other barriers in here. Fitness merchandise, right? Like anyone who's getting into the health and fitness lifestyle, they don't know about what to wear or what you need to buy. And there's a lot of scammy people out there that want to, swindle you because you're a beginner and try and get you to buy things and tell you that you need them. You need these things for results. So I talk about what kind of stuff do you actually need to be healthy and to be fit and to live that lifestyle. It's really not a lot, but if you are going to buy stuff, I talk about it in here, and I talk about scams and stuff like that to avoid, which kind of goes into fitness resources, right? I talk about that as well. Resources are where you're getting your information and how you're learning your information. And that makes a big part in whether it sticks or not. If you're reading an article one day on Facebook, it might not stick, right? So where you get your information from is crucial to how you succeed. So I do talk about resources in the book, and who can you trust, right? I talk about the resources that I used. I talked about the people. I actually listed examples of YouTubers that I liked. I'll list off a few for you. I like Elliot Hulls. I like Chris Jones. I like Athlean X. You can check those. You can look them up right now. Check them out. Those people will all. They're all very resourceful and they're free. That's how I learned for the first time. It was, just through looking things up, and you find people that say things that work and say things that make sense. And I explained to you how to find those resources. And when you find people that you admire and you look up to, you can start to model your lifestyle kind of after them, because they're kind of like your role model. They're like your online mentor, and you can go to them for motivation every day or look up their newest videos, and it really helps you feel not so alone when you have somebody that you can look to as kind of a mentor or role model. So your resources are crucial to your success. And the last section of my book is the workouts. So the workouts and your body and your anatomy. Now, that sounds really intimidating, but I'm just reminding you that this is a beginner's guide, right? It's just the basics. So I talk about, first of all, anatomy, because I think everybody should understand anatomy. Like, I mean, I think everybody should understand anatomy. I don't care if you bake cakes or if you perform magic tricks on the weekend. Like, you should know your body. You should understand your muscle groups, just the basics, because it will change the way you live. It will change the way you look at things. So I talk about the body in a way that makes sense. It's not just diagrams and labels. It's kind of like explaining the structure and the layers and how they all kind of work together. And I talk about the nervous system, like, what the heck even is the nervous system? Like, you've heard it, but like, what the heck even is the nervous system, right? And how does it work? And I thought that this was going to be a very difficult concept for me to learn, but it was actually quite simple once you kind of understand the basics around how your nervous system works. So I talk about the nervous system in here in my workout systems section. And then after I talked about the anatomy basics, so your muscles and how they work and how they move, because if you understand, like, we know that we have pecs here and we know that we can build them doing the bench press, but do we know how they work, right? Do we know how the muscle fibers contract? Do we know how our muscles function and how they work? I talk about that in here. So muscle function, if you know how to work them, you know how to work them out, right? You know how to tire them, and you need to know how the muscles function before you can understand how you can work them and how you can challenge them. Because knowing how to do the motion is one thing, but actually knowing what you're doing is going to make a big difference. Like, even mentally, right? Connecting to your muscle while you're working out, having that mind-body connection. You can only create that mind-body connection if you know what you're connecting your mind to, right? You can't just brain, chest. You gotta kind of understand what's going on there. So that's muscles, that's connected to the nervous system. That's all included in this book. So we've talked about things like theory, mindset, nutrition, exercise, implementation strategies, and anatomy, and this is just a beginner's guide, right? You have nothing to lose. It's totally free right now. It's not going to be free forever because this is a book, right? It's not a 3-page free little informational pamphlet I'm handing out to you. It's a book that I wrote. So it's only going to be free for a limited time. And I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. If you are interested in finding Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness, go check it out on klassnext.com. Again, it's got things like mindset, nutrition, implementation strategies, workout systems. It's got everything a beginner is going to need. Not so intimidating as the whole world of health and fitness crashing in on you, but it's more so just the beginning steps and how to implement it into your lifestyle, and just the stuff that a beginner would need to know, right? And then we'll build off of that. Once you have a foundation, you can grow from that. You can go to these resources, you can go to these resources. You can start challenging yourself with the tougher stuff and kind of understanding the science behind things. But just to have that healthy lifestyle and understand the basics between working out and eating and what you do in your rest period, it's all crucial stuff. So it's all in the Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness, klassnext.com. Go, feel free. All you have to do is go to the product section, find the Beginner's Guide to Health and Fitness, go through the purchasing process, but it's at $0 right now. It's not going to be at $0 forever, but it's $0 right now. So go through the system, purchase it. You'll purchase it for $0. It'll give you a download link, and you'll download it as a PDF, and this will be on your computer. You could have this. You could be looking at this in about 1 minute if you're listening to this right now. So I'm going to conclude the live stream there. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I haven't done a live stream like this where I've talked for 20 minutes before, so if you're watching this, thank you for tuning in at some point and hearing me out. And stay tuned for more videos, more products. Other awesome programs are all at klassnext.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. Klassnext out.